Okay, number 12. Ken and Paul each ordered a sandwich at a restaurant. The price of Ken's sandwich was X dollars. Price of Paul's was $1 more than Ken's. So that's X plus 1. Okay, Paul and Ken, they split the cost of the sandwiches evenly, and they paid a 20% tip. Okay, so what did they pay? Ken paid X, Paul paid X plus 1. And combined, they paid a 20% tip, which is 1 plus 20% in decimal form times 1.2. Which of the following expression represents the amount in dollars each of them paid? Remember, this equals our total, so don't confuse that to be the individual. We want the individual result. So what is that? That's 2x plus 1 times 1.2. Let's distribute that out. That's 1.2 times 2x. That's 2.4x plus 1.2 times 1 plus 1.2. And that's the total that they paid. But don't go circling D because we want each. We want the individual payments, which means we have to divide by 2. So 2.4x divided by 2 is 1.2x. 1.2 divided by 2 is plus 0.6. The correct answer is C. 13. The functions f and g are defined by f of x equals 8x squared minus 2. G of x is minus 8x squared plus 2. They're graphed in the xy plane. The f and g intersect at the points k0 and minus k0. So they intersect on the x-axis. What is the value of k? So there are a few ways we could actually get this. One is to note that the graphs intersect, so we could set f of x equal to g of x, which would be minus, or in f of x's case, sorry, plus 8x squared minus 2 equals g of x, which is minus 8x squared plus 2. So I'm going to add 8x squared to both sides. 16x squared, add 2 to both sides, equals 4. X squared equals 4 divided by 16, or 1/4, which means x is the square root of 1/4, which is 1/2. The correct answer is B, 1/2. That's one way to do it. Okay. Another way would be just to find the roots. Take any one of those functions and find the roots to find k. So f of x equals 8x squared minus 2. So if I set, for example, 8x squared minus 2, the y equals to 0, that would give me the x-intercept. So what can I do? 8x squared equals 2, divide by 8 on both sides. X squared equals 2 divided by 8, or 1/4 again. X equals the square root of 1/4, or 1/2. So I could have solved it that way, by finding the zeros of either one of the functions. Last but not least, I think there's another approach we could take here that you might even find faster, is simply look at the answer choices and plug them in. We know the y value for k is going to be 0. So if I plugged a quarter into either function, say 8 times a quarter squared, which would be 8 over 16, 1/2 minus 2, that doesn't equal 0. So that wouldn't be a 0. X or k equals a quarter is not a 0. What if k were 1/2? Let's plug that in. 8 times 1/2 squared minus 2 is 8 times 1/4 minus 2. 8 times a quarter is 2 minus 2 equals 0. That works. If I plug in k equals 1/2, the result of my function is 0. It's another way to find that that's the 0, just by back solving, plugging in the answers until I get that result. B is the answer, 1/2.